Thank you, Madam President. You know, my colleagues across the aisle have spent the first part of this year laser focused on voting rights and the filibuster. You know, Democrats at all levels, including President Biden, spoke of nothing else, claiming that this was the most important issue facing Americans and that the future of our country was at stake. But this was not a righteous crusade. It was a march into complete delusion, a message completely out of touch with the struggles of real Americans. While Democrats lectured, Americans confronted reality. Across the country, inflation is squeezing paychecks and COVID cases are skyrocketing. These are the issues that families are focusing on. Omicron surge sent students home from classrooms and back in front of computer screens. And this is where parents' minds have been these last few weeks, not on Senate rules, not on the filibuster, but on their children's education. Because when parents think about the future of our country, they think about their children and the opportunities that they will have when they get this good education. During my 4 decades of coaching, I saw firsthand how education provides an unparalleled opportunity to uplift students from all different backgrounds, races, and religions. Education is the key to opportunity and freedom. It empowers students to create a future for themselves, to make a better life for themselves. It's a way to achieve the American dream. In short, education is our country's future. Ensuring the next generation receives a quality education is the most important investment we can make in the future success of our country. But before I talk about where we should go and when it comes to education, it's important to note where we are today in education. Right now, the United States of America is slipping. It's slipping in the classroom when it comes to our global standing. We're 37th in the world in math. We're 13th in the world in reading. Just over half of the young people in our country today can read over the 6th grade reading level. That is simply not good enough for the most powerful country on the face of the earth. Our students are falling behind. At no time was this more important than the last 2 years. COVID turned our living rooms into classrooms, bringing lesson plans to kitchen tables and homes all across the country. This gave parents a front row seat to what their children were and were not learning. And many parents did not like what they saw. Students weren't being taught how to think, they were being taught what to think. And this shift from what is right to what is woke has startled parents. But it was also startling for parents to see what isolation does to their developing children. As kids, we saw less of their friends. They retreated into darkness. Rates of depression and anxiety have risen dramatically. Since the start of the pandemic, hospitals have seen more mental emergencies among kids than the history of our country. In young girls, the suicide rate jumped over 50% compared to the pre-pandemic levels, 50%. And while we're nearly 2 years into the pandemic, the digital divide still creates profound roadblocks in learning for many children who lack access to rural broadband and even a laptop. Learning by low income and minority students was disrupted the most by school closures. The pandemic compounded existing problems in our education system, and every child has felt the effects from this pandemic and not being in the classroom. but it also has highlighted a key piece of the educational puzzle. Parents. Parents are the key to education for our kids. Parents realize the power of their collective voices during the pandemic, and they're using it to advocate for improvements for their education for the kids in the classroom. Time and time again, we've seen parents stand against restrictive mandates and unnecessary school shutdowns. Now, as we look toward the future of education, we need to remember what the pandemic taught us. One size does not fit all. It rarely works, and it certainly does not work in education. That's why when we talk about education, moving forward, we have an opportunity to revisit the conversation about importance of choice. Parents know their child best. They understand the unique needs of their children and can serve as the best advocate for those needs, especially now that the needs may be different than they were 2 years ago before COVID. A child's education shouldn't be defined by their zip code or financial limitations. A child and their parent should have a choice about education. School choice increases options through vouchers or tax credit scholarships, allowing parents to select the best learning environment for their child. School choice breaks down barriers and allows the funds to follow the student. School choice embraces the truth that different children learn in different ways and in different environments, whether it be a charter school, public school, private school, or homeschool. There are school choice successes and their stories everywhere we look. Just take this story about a young man from Alabama. His name is Nicholas West. Without Alabama's tax credit scholarship, Nicholas and his brothers would have no option but to attend a high school that they were zoned for, which was a school unable to deliver individualized training that they needed. Thanks to school choice programs, Nicholas and his brother were able to thrive in different learning environments based on their unique needs and interests. By being in an environment that set him up for success, Nicholas was able to earn college credits during high school, and he went on to start his own business upon graduating from high school. I believe that this country owes you one thing. It owes you an opportunity. But what you have to do with that opportunity is up to the individual. For Nicholas, he used this opportunity presented to him through the school choice to tap his full potential. It makes sense that we should increase access to the opportunities for young men and women just like Nicholas. We must deliver the same opportunities to other students who have skills and the drive to need a path forward. Alabama is making strides in opportunities and creation. Charter schools continue to grow in popularity in our state. Last year, enrollment increased over 65%, the second highest enrollment percentage in the nation. If I sound like I'm proud of the steps Alabama has taken to ensure we give our students opportunity, I am. I believe other states can learn from what we are doing, emphasizing school choice in Alabama. As we learn more about how the pandemic has impacted students, educational choice will become that much more important. In fact, choice may make all the difference. When we look forward to discuss the future of our country, we have to get back to talking about education. The future of our country depends on educational opportunities we make available to the next generation. That is why I am proud that the resolution I helped to introduce to recognize National School Choice Week passed the Senate last night. I'm glad my colleagues recognized how important it is to encourage parents and students to explore all available educational opportunities. But conversations about the importance of school choice should continue to drive our priorities throughout this year. If we join together, we can make that commitment, and our future for this country and our kids in this country will be much brighter. I yield the floor.